Welcome back to the Real From Sapien YouTube channel where I give cultural commentary. I will be coming back online. This video is a long time coming. It is definitely inspired by Charlie Kirk. I let a lot of people scare me offline because my values were too conservative. You know what has been revealed to me through the assassination of Charlie Kirk? You can hold the moderate position, and there are people in this country who will believe that if you hold those same values, that you should be owed death. Understanding that, and understanding that I let critics get to me too much, and I felt that it was better for me to run away and be a homemaker. I'm still going to be a homemaker, but I did run away because I didn't feel confident coming out and talking about the things that I wanted to talk about. Well, that ends today. Charlie Kirk meant a lot of things to a lot of different people. I did not realize how important he was to me until this event occurred. And I feel very guilty for being so critical of him in the past for holding the moderate position. But you know what? It mattered that he was the moderate position. It mattered because that was where you started your conservative journey. Right? A journey of 1,000 steps, it starts with one. Your first step, oftentimes, if you're going from left to right, or center to right, or from nowhere to right, oftentimes your first step was going to be Charlie Kirk. And he had a vision for Gen Z that a lot of other conservatives neglected. There are a lot of Gen Z and Zoomers who are right-leaning, who are conservative, who matter, who are going to be significant in a decade's time, maybe 20 years' time. They're going to really matter. But if we ignore them and only ever highlight the leftists of Zoomers, then we're not highlighting our best and brightest youth. And Charlie made it a point to talk to Zoomers on a regular basis. You know, my thoughts, my prayers are with his wife and his children. You know, I think about that. That they're going to grow up without a father, without the security blanket that a masculine father is. And he died for having the same values that I have, but also being a white man. I'm not going to let people scare me offline anymore because I'm too conservative. We're done with that. A moderate was killed. So if that's what's going to happen to a lukewarm position, you people have no idea what's coming. You have radicalized the moms. And conservatives, this is not the time to be picky and to try to purity test one another. This is the time to tribe up. So I'll be coming back online to make political videos and share facts like I wanted to. And people don't like what I have to say, that's fine. I'm done caring. They had the person who still believed in debate. They had him and they killed him. So now you get the rest of us. And we're going to go point by point why we believe what we believe and what facts are there to back it. And people are going to find out the truth. And they're going to change their minds. They're going to change their values. They're going to be voting Republican. The Democrat Party has lost. Obviously, they're sore losers. Also, they're a terrorist organization. Also, they're out of touch with reality. Get involved in your local far left groups. Sign up for them. Know what these people are doing around you. Look at your local school board, because that's where these freaks are. Okay? Look at your local school boards. They're coming out, they're commenting on Facebook. Get screenshots. Report these people. In the description, I'm going to give you a website that you can share information about these folks who are championing this, thinking that it's okay, thinking that there's no consequence. Like, we're in this weird place where people forget that America was more normal, where you didn't celebrate the deaths of political opponents. We're past that now. So, given the events that have occurred, given the fact that a lot of us are crying, mourning, I've been crying, my family's been crying. We're a Turning Point family. We like to go to Turning Point events as family vacations. Like, that's our thing. We like politics. It's what we do. This has hurt us a lot. So many different people I know are affected. Like, we're all feeling it. Something has changed in America. And like, Charlie Kirk is essentially going to be our Martin Luther King. And I know that that sounds weird. By the way, this is not me saying that I like Martin Luther King Jr. If you've ever researched him, you know that he was a communist and a philanderer, or a socialist and a philanderer. Is a socialist even that much better than a communist? I mean, let's be honest. I'm not saying he was good. I'm saying that Charlie Kirk has been made a martyr. This man died for believing the things that we believe. Let's make sure that that was not in vain.
From the perspective that Martin Luther King Jr. was a communist and a socialist, I believe there should be some consideration taken for the time when people of color would have given anything just to have something and be free and not segregated and hated against. A capitalistic society based on fair and free market competition is obviously the best choice. However, the young lady's right. The left, Democrats, they have no idea what they've done. But tell me, what do you think? With the red wave that's coming, what do you think will happen when Democrats lose worse than they already have? They don't play or fight fair, and more Republican, MAGA, conservative GOP wins could mean more violence, more hate, more killings, more death, more crime, and worse, possibly. Tell me your thoughts in the comments.
Host of Timcast, Tim Pool, joins me now. Tim, we're awaiting Erica Kirk's remarks, which should be incredibly emotional and extremely powerful. In the meantime, tell us what you know about this shooter.
Well, I know much of what you have reported, what everyone's reporting, the statements that were made to The Guardian that he was a leftist. Someone has posted a video claiming to have gone to school with him, and they called him your typical Redditor. And anybody who's familiar with the social platform Reddit knows it is dominated by liberal left ideology. But what's interesting now is there is this gaslighting campaign among prominent liberals to claim that this guy's actually a right-winger, that he's from a Christian conservative family who loved guns, and in fact, he attacked Charlie for not being conservative enough. And they've tried making similar claims pertaining to the man who tried to kill Donald Trump, Crooks, in Pennsylvania. But it is absolutely absurd. I've been dealing with this since the beginning of my career. I have dealt with physical assault attacks from the left, from violent extreme leftists. We called them the Black Bloc back during Occupy Wall Street. This was covered extensively when I was actually championed by the left for documenting Occupy Wall Street, and I was physically attacked by leftists. Even to this day, the death threats that we receive, the security that I have to have every day it's tremendous. And I don't see the same thing among my liberal counterparts. They don't require the same degree of security. So it's a gaslighting campaign, in my opinion, because in order to maintain the lie that the right is more violent, they do several things. They try to gaslight us in situations like this, that a conservative would shoot Charlie Kirk. He was the greatest tool in the arsenal of conservative values. And they go online, they use these NGOs, these nonprofits, to claim that a run-of-the-mill moderate conservative is the same thing as a white supremacist who wants to overthrow the government. They're so far removed from each other. That's the game they're playing now because they don't want to take responsibility for the rhetoric. The rhetoric they say every day when they accuse us of being Nazis or fascists or far right. They say this so that, as you've already pointed out, when the violence happens, no one likes a Nazi, right? But let me add this. I think the reality now that I've unfortunately had to deal with, that we are all seeing, is that this man who shot Charlie was much closer to mainstream Democrat than any of us wanted to believe. I woke up to posts on Instagram from people that I thought were my friends that I have known for years. And mind you, they're liberal, but I always considered them to be moderate liberals, not particularly active. And they're posting messages saying Charlie deserved it. He got the world he wanted. And they know who I am, and they know that he was my friend. And I don't understand how these relationships can be repaired. Even friends of mine who are not political, who are, telling me I'm sorry, this happened, they're saying on their Facebooks, there are people posting celebrating this that they didn't even realize were political. And I don't know how we recover from that.
So how did that culture begin? You're familiar with the internet. You're familiar with Antifa. You understand the militancy that you see and you encounter when you go into these precincts. This kid, raised with good parents, it seems like, lives a normal life in Utah. How did he snap like that?
It's really hard to know, but I've talked about it quite a bit in my research. I'll try and keep it as succinct as I can. The algorithms of social media starting in the late 2000s, in LexisNexis data, you can see the words like racism, white supremacy, fascism skyrocket in their usage in mainstream newspapers and online publications. This was likely due to the big tech platforms prioritizing algorithmic feeds. That is, they were going to show you content that got more engagement. And to the average person, a story of injustice and racism generated anger. Anger is the most likely to generate some content to be shared. It's the most likely to make someone share content. And so what we instantly saw were websites that were posting articles, say, about politics, realize if they write about police brutality, racism, or some kind of social injustice, they will get substantially more clicks, shares, and in turn, money. There was a really good example. It was reported, Mike.com, for instance, originally started as a Ron Paul libertarian website. But as they began posting police brutality videos and made more money off it, the narrative shifted towards left-aligned ideology. Now, what do you think happens to a young man who is 13 years old on Facebook or on one of these other platforms, and the algorithm is showing them nothing but social injustice, leftist ideology, and they may be normal, they may be in a Christian conservative family, but every day they open their apps, whatever platform they be using, they see nothing over and over again. Racism, white supremacy, racism, over and over. And they see these messages from Democrats saying, we can't tolerate this, we can't let them win. Eventually, their whole world, they live in a paranoid delusional state where they would accuse Charlie of being racist, of advocating for slavery, exemplified, in fact, by Stephen King posting that Charlie Kirk had advocated the stoning of gays, which he never did, and Stephen King was forced to apologize for. These ideas that they spread through lies and fake news are crazy.
You know why? Because the guy lives alone in a cabin in the woods in Maine and just stares at a screen all day. I mean, he's like the perfect example of someone getting spun up by these demonic forces online. That's very interesting analysis. Thank you so much. This is even a more challenging issue than I even understood. We appreciate it, Tim.
I have to agree with Tim Pool, and especially as far as this algorithm goes. Sarah, good morning, left a comment, and where did it go? YouTube might have deleted the damn comment. Let's go top comments. You would think since I liked it and hearted it, it would be a top comment, right? There it is. YouTube's filter process is absolutely terrible. But Sarah says, damn, Kevin, 38,000 views in 8 hours. Look, I've been trying to tell you guys this for the longest. Now, interestingly enough, I did come across another video today that I watched, and, it just further solidified the providing the confirmation needed, and this is actually, it says 1 month later, but this is another YouTuber, and I think somebody even quoted here in the comment section that they're coming back to being a full-time YouTuber. And I don't know. Again, YouTube's comment section is a little wonky, and honestly, YouTube's made it now where it's kind of hard to find anything that you really want anymore. But the response here has been seemingly similar to that we've seen from the left. And this hatred, this negativity, this algorithmic push that rewards the worst of the worst to continuously perpetuate and promote a gaslighting campaign that just is designed to tear people down. Mostly Democrats down further. Us conservatives, perhaps maybe moderates, are much smarter, much stronger in some instances. I know I still have this on my dashboard as my last community post, and it says losing support. And, this is a prime example of conservatives who just, they're rhinos, basically, because when the going gets tough, they turn their back and they start drinking up the Kool-Aid and buying into the propaganda and the gaslighting. It's life. I don't get on Facebook, so I don't have to worry about that nonsense, but I can guarantee that if anybody I knew was celebrating what had happened to Charlie Kirk or anyone else, that would be the end of our relationship altogether. Charlie Kirk inflicted zero physical harm on anyone, and he did not deserve that, nor did his family, nor did we, the community. No one deserved that at all. And it's getting so much worse since then. From the left, from the Democrats, from the media. And, unfortunately, I have to say that it's going to get worse. As Erica Kirk has pointed out, they do not know what they've just done. It's going to get worse from our side, too. It will. There will be some form of retaliation, retribution, return fire, essentially. This person here, I've never seen this person before, but it popped up on my feed and it says the Ring of Fire. I'm taking a break from Ring of Fire. I'm always interested to see why people are leaving YouTube. And I didn't watch it. I didn't listen to it, nor will I. But the comments made it pretty clear. And I think that this individual is definitely a part of the problem, okay? Because these types of videos, these types of titles and thumbnails continuously brainwash their audience into believing things that are, in fact, untrue. Okay. And then when the weight of the world, when the weight of your actions, come back on you, and you see that you, in essence, figuratively, were pulling that trigger along with this Robinson character. Now you want to quit. Now you want to back down. Now you want to pull away. Now you're afraid because of what could happen. Let's just be honest, If they'll do it to Charlie Kirk, then don't think that they won't do it to you, and don't think it won't be your own. And, the comments here, 47 is escalating this. I'm a registered Republican. However, the last time I voted Republican was for John McCain. I was so surprised when DJT won. I was sick to my stomach. Come to Canada, man. Broadcast from a safe place. Charlie Kirk is responsible for Charlie Kirk's death, and that is entirely false. And anyone who says that, agrees with that, believes that, may God help you. May God help you is what I'll say. Is what I'll say to that. May God help us all, really.
Chief Washington correspondent Mike Emanuel. Mike.
Harris, Congressman Ilhan Omar facing some significant fallout after making these harsh comments following the assassination of Charlie Kirk.
There is nothing more effed up, than to completely pretend that, his words and actions have not been recorded and in existence for the last decade. These people are full of and it's important for us to call them out.
Tennessee Republican Senator Marsha Blackburn took offense, reacting on X, quote, Ilhan shows no remorse in slandering an honorable man who was brutally murdered in cold blood for the entire world to see. As many grieve the loss of a husband, father, and patriotic American, Ilhan has chosen a divisive and dangerous path for our country. Omar responded to the heat she's taking for her comments by saying that while she disagreed with Charlie Kirk vehemently about his rhetoric, that her heart breaks for his wife and children. Then there's Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, a potential presidential candidate who went political right after expressing his sympathy.
I think the president's rhetoric often foments it. We've seen the January 6th rioters who clearly, have tripped a new era of political violence. And the president, what did he do? He pardoned them. I mean, what kind of signal does that send?
Other Democrats were quick to jump on changing the gun laws before having a full picture of the assassin. Harris?
That's because that's their narrative. It doesn't matter what's going into the frame of the picture. That's the one they want to see. Mike Emanuel, thank you very much.
You bet.
And if you are interested in saving money, specifically on your Medicare, then make sure you give our friends at Chapter a call. And I want you guys to really, really pay attention here, because it's come to my attention that most seniors are not on the best Medicare plan. They're either overpaying for the same coverage they could get elsewhere, or they don't have the coverage they need in an emergency. Chapter can review your options in under 20 minutes. It's fast, it's simple, it's easy, and it's free. If you're already on the best possible plan, they'll tell you they're unbiased and they're purely here to help folks, seniors, save money on healthcare, on average $1,100. And if you're not on the right plan, they'll help you switch, even if it's to a plan that pays them nothing. Again, unbiased, folks. This is unique and unlike any other Medicare provider out there. And this is exactly why we love Chapter so much, because they're literally just trying to help people. Chapter works for you, not big insurance or the government. And there's no pressure, just honest, free advice from professionals who know Medicare inside and out.